One of the questions we're getting asked a lot about at the moment is when is the time to be pruning citrus? And the reason being, citrus are best pruned after they've finished fruiting. And across most of Australia, most citrus varieties have finished, except for possibly some lemons, like this one here, and grapefruit, which can take up to 2 years to ripen. So now is the time to be looking at getting your citrus trees into shape. The tools you'll need include sharp, clean secateurs, bypass loppers, possibly a saw if the branches are thicker than 70 millimetres. And for the tree I'm pruning today, a Kaffir lime, I'm also including this, a battery-powered head shear. Now, of all the trees I could have chosen to show you, this is probably one of the more difficult ones. These guys are really gnarly and they're also prickly, so you have to be careful getting into them. The very first thing you want to do is evaluate the tree and the shape that you want to get. It's all about the frame of the tree, and that'll set the shape, the way the tree grows into the future. So what I want to do is open this up from the inside out and make sure that any branches that cross over and rub against each other are removed. The final effect should look a bit like this, an open structure with a clear frame. You should be able to reach into the tree easily. Light should be able to get into the top and the branches should reach out, allowing for easy harvest. Kaffir limes are grown not so much for the fruit, but really for the foliage. So the total tree after structural pruning will get a light trim over of all the foliage to get strong new growth through in spring. The still battery-powered hedge trimmer is the perfect way to do it. This is a Eureka lemon tree. Now, these trees get enormous, 5 to 6 metres tall, at least 5 metres wide. But we've pruned this one in a real open vase shape. You can see the heart of the tree is completely open to sunlight coming in, and all of the fruit is on the outside edge. And one of the interesting benefits of keeping a tree like this at this sort of height is that it has the root system to support a big 6 metre tree. So when you actually see the fruit develop, they end up being so much bigger and juicier than they would normally be. Look at the size of that, it's enormous. The last bit of citrus pruning advice I'm going to leave you with is this. Make sure you give your citrus a good feed after pruning. You've shaped the growth in the direction you'd like the tree to head. Support that growth and encourage flowering and more fruit. Use a specialist citrus plant food like this one, which I rave about. It's going to drive all the growth your plant wants by feeding the soil microbes. Most importantly, this fertiliser has a really complex mineral base, which means that it's going to sustain all those trace elements that these trees need to grow really well. It means that the fruit will taste delish and you'll be getting all the goodness out of it because you're feeding the microbes in the soil, which are feeding the tree, which means you have great big happy trees and lots of foliage and fruit.